All right, so we are starting a new unit on loans. So when you graduate from high school, you are going to end up taking out a loan for various things. It may be you get into credit card debt. Maybe you spend too much money and then you have to turn around and you have to pay it back. Maybe you're going to buy a house someday or buy a car someday. A lot of people, end up in debt in some way once they graduate high school. So we're going to talk about basic debt. And when you get into debt, how long it takes you to pay it back, how much money you're paying, all of that kind of stuff. So we're going to do that. It can be done in your graphing calculator, but I'm also going to provide for you a website that gives you the calculator that you can use as well. So all of these abbreviations, we're going to talk about what they mean and how to put them in your calculator. So it says current college graduates are leaving school with an average of $25,000 in student loan debt. Y'all, that's really true. The current interest rate for student loans is 6.8% and must be repaid in 10 years. What would be the loan payment on a $25,000 student loan? Okay, so here's what we need to know. Okay, N is your number of years. Okay, so you've got to remember when you're doing this that it's your years times PY, and we'll talk about what that means in a second. Okay, then I is your interest rate. PV is your debt or your starting amount. Okay, so PV is your starting amount. PMT, y'all, is payment. Future value is what you want to owe in the future. PY and CY are how often you pay your debt. And then we're always going to live in end because people pay at the end of the month. So here are some things you need to know. With debt, this particular person is starting with $25,000 in student debt. So PV, the starting amount, how much you start with debt always goes there. So if you buy a car for $15,000, that's going to go there. Whatever your debt is goes there. Now here's the deal. When you're paying off debt, I would ask you if we were in class, but your whole goal is to be at zero, to owe zero money. So future value is going to be zero, always. Okay, never going to change. And then PY and CY, y'all, that's how often you pay. You're always paying monthly. You always pay your car payment once a month. You pay your house payment once a month. You pay your loan payment once a month. Okay, so then let's read. It says interest rate is 6.8%. Now here's the cool part. You don't have to change it to a decimal. So for I, you just put 6.8 and that's it. Okay, and it says it must be repaid in 10 years. So for N, we're going to put 10 years, and it's always times 12. Always, okay? Because you're going to pay for 10 years 12 times a year, okay? And then it says, what would be the payment? So we're looking for payment. So that's where our question mark goes, okay? So we're going to have to use our calculator and enter all of this stuff in our calculator, okay? And so to do that, here's what we need. You're going to go to your calculator, okay? You're going to press the apps button, which is right here. On a lot of your calculators, it's a different color. Apps, then you're going to go to finance, and then we're going to use TVM solver. So you're going to press enter. Now look, it lines up just like we have. So you're going to type everything in. So N, we said, was 10 times 12. I%, remember we talked about I was 6.8. So we're going to put 6.8 here. Okay, present value is how much we have in debt, which was $25,000. We don't know our payment. Future value is 0 always. Then these stay 12, and this stays 12. Okay, now if we want our payment, you're going to go up to where it's highlighted. That's what we're looking for. Make sure it's blinking, and you're going to press your green alpha key. Get me up here. Hold on. We're going to press alpha, enter. Okay, and when you press alpha, enter, that's going to give you your answer. So your payment is $287.70. So your payment is $287.70. Okay, now here's the deal, y'all. If you don't have a calculator, you can do it on the internet. Also, notice in our calculator it said it was negative $287, okay? Y'all, that just means it's coming out of your account. You're negative $287. You don't pay attention to the negative. You just enter $287.70 as your final answer. Now, I'll put this link in the planner for you. But when you're doing this, there's also the TBM solver in GeoGebra, where you can actually type everything in. So we set our in. So our in is 10 times 12, or 120. Okay, our interest rate was 6.8%. Our present value was $25,000, just like we said. We don't know our payment. Future value is 0. PY was 12 because you're paying 12 times a year, and CY was 12. And guess what? Solve for payment. Click there. $287.70. So I'll put this link on there too, okay? But either way, you'll have it so that you can get your correct answer. So then it says, what is the total amount paid over the 10-year repayment plan? This is where people have a hard time. Total amount paid. So you're paying $287.70 every month, so times 12. Guys, for 10 years, so times 10. So you have to actually do your math, okay? And actually get, so 287, and y'all, you're actually paying $34,524 over the life of your loan. That's why getting into debt isn't a good thing. Our debt was only $25,000, and now by the time I pay in 10 years, I now have paid $34,524 on my debt. So when it says total amount of interest, y'all, interest is the difference because the $25,000 pays your loan. You paid $34,000, so you have to do your $34,524 minus whatever your debt was when you started. So minus $25,000. And you're going to get $9,524 in interest. Okay? So, last but not least, let's look at number 2 for Jason. I'm going to do this one just so you can kind of see the difference. So it says, Jason spent freely on his credit card during college. He accumulated $30,000 in credit card debt. Well, guess what? That's present value. That's what his debt is. Okay? His current credit card rate is 13.99%. Y'all, that's cheap. Usually it's like in the 20%. If he wants to pay it off in 10 years, so we're going to do 10 times 12 again. How much would he pay per month? So what's his payment? Remember, this is always 0, 12, 12, end. Okay? So we're looking for his payment. So you would go to your graphing calculator. Okay, you're going to go to your graphing calculator. Let's go back in case we don't remember. You're going to press apps, enter, enter. Still 10 years, so 120. But this time the rate is 13.99. Present value this time is 30,000. Okay, everything else stays the same. So we alpha enter. And y'all, the payment he's going to have to make is $465.62. And you can also do that, okay, in our GeoGebra page. You can actually enter this stuff in. So you could do the same thing online and put 13.99 and 30,000 and solve for payment. Now, you're not always going to be solving for payment. You might be solving for something different, but that's the idea. You're going to get the same answer. So then how much interest will he have paid? If you're doing interest, remember you have to find total amount first. Okay, so you have to do your 465.62 times 12 months times 10 years. Okay, so you've got to figure out the total amount he's going to pay first. So he's going to pay $55,874.40 over the life of this loan. So to get interest, remember you always subtract. So we're going to take that number, so $55,874.40 minus the $30,000 debt he started with. So he's paying $25,874.40 in interest. Y'all, that's crazy. $25,000 when he took out a credit card and spent too much money. This is why you don't want to get into credit card debt. It's bad, bad news. So now Jason decides, you know what? I'm sick of being in debt. So Jason decides, you know what? How much will it, if he wants to pay it off in 5 years? So now he wants to do 5 years. So 5 times 12. So he wants to cut the time. Remember, this is always 0, 12, 12 end. Okay? And then the interest rate is still 13.99 because it's the same loan. Still $30,000 in debt, and we're still looking for payment. So we're going to go to our graphing calculator. Okay? So this time, remember, I'm going to remind you, press apps, enter, enter. Okay? Now it's going to be 5 times 12, y'all, because he's paying in 5 years. Interest rate's the same. And then for payment, we're going to alpha, enter. Y'all, $697.89. So payment, $697.89. But here's the deal. That's a lot of money per month. A lot of money to pay. But let's see how much money he would save. So his total amount, remember, is $697.89. But this time, he pays for 12 months, but only for 5 years. So he doesn't pay for 10 years. So $697.89 times 12 times 5. So he pays $41,873.40 over the life of the loan. Rather than up here, he paid $55,000. So $41,873.40 minus the $30,000 he started with. Y'all, he's only paying $11,873.40 in interest. Now that is a ton of money. But in comparison, if he can afford to pay the $697.89 per month, that's the way to go because he's only paying almost $12,000 in interest rather than almost $26,000 in interest. So that's why you want to pay off your debt as fast as possible. So now, using this page 1 in your packet, you should be able to complete page 2, which works the exact same way. So it's the same notes. You're going to use the TVM solver in your calculator, or you're going to use the GeoGebra link I provided, and you should be able to answer all of these questions about your debt.